back in the house, people. 12th man's back. The Arsenal roundabout is back. I've no idea where Kenny Ken is, but I imagine he'll be with us soon. He's got the link, so hopefully he'll jump on. We've got Igal, we've got DJ, we've got D, and we've got Aaron. Welcome back to you, bro. Make sure you smash the likes, people. Make sure you hit subscribe. Make sure you're following our sponsors for tonight. OK Jerseys, they're in the chat and on the description. Live links in the chat and description. Make sure you click on them and make sure that you're showing them some love. Make sure you go and get all of your kits. They've got the retro Arsenal kits, first kit, second kit, third kit, international kits. Make sure you are going and getting them because they're a brilliant price. So make sure you go and get those OK Jerseys, people. Look, we're going to talk about a lot tonight. There's a lot of links in relation to some players that are leaving. There's a lot of relation to some that are potentially coming in, believe it or not. After 7 players coming in, it looks like we might be making it 8. Andre Berta really is not mucking around, let me tell you that. But we were debating off screen, and I thought might as well hit live because what we were getting into was a proper debate. And I was watching TikTok yesterday because someone had tagged me in saying, and as you know, if you finish watching TikTok, the next one automatically comes up, and it was Paul Merson. And Paul Merson was basically, I don't know why, having to explain to people that he's a Chelsea fan and he does have a right to talk about Arsenal, and whether he says he's seen as a legend or not is not really what he did. He gave his 100% all. And I listened to it and I thought, what the hell has he had to do that for? And then Igal started talking and I know why now. So Igal, I don't know if you want to come in here because I think there's 4 ex-Arsenal players that are pundits now that I respect and listen to it all the times. Paul Merson is one of them. And the other 3 are Tony Adams, Emmanuel Petit, and Thierry Henry, because I think they say it how it is. They're not trying to get a job with the club, like potentially, you know, a kind of Martin Keown or Lee Dixon or Nigel Winterburn. As much as I love and respect their opinions, they're all in with the club still, right? Ray Parlour, all these guys. I think Paul Merson says it how it is. And I don't think some of the Arsenal fans that are a huge, huge positive have to hear everything. The club's beautiful. The club's rosy. Best club you'll ever see in your life. It's going to win everything. If they're not singing off that song sheet, I think people get the hump. So explain what Paul Merson is supposed to have done, because I must have missed this, Igal.
He didn't do anything wrong. He just sat on stream and was reacting back to Chelsea fans, criticizing him about Cole Palmer, and when he was speaking, he was saying "we." And I know he's a Chelsea fan. I know he has season tickets going to Chelsea all the time, and I know he's an Arsenal legend. But I'm simply saying I don't really care the fact that he's an Arsenal legend or anything. Not at the end of the day, he's a Chelsea fan, and when he's going on these shows representing Arsenal because he's a former player and a legend at the club, his opinion can be slightly skewed because he is also a Chelsea fan, and when he's giving his opinions, sometimes I question where it's directly coming from, because I do see sometimes where he comes from a more negative standpoint on a regular basis. And I just think if you're going to have somebody on TV representing Arsenal, there's multiple players, former players you can have, or current or fans you have representing the club, and there's nothing wrong with him giving his opinion. I don't think there's anything wrong with Ian Wright giving his opinion, but you didn't seem to mention him either. So it seems to be everyone's okay with a club legend when they agree with their opinion, but when they disagree with their opinion, certain people have a problem with it. But hey, when Arsenal fans like myself say, I disagree with this point, I don't think this person should be speaking as if they're a fan, because they're not. All of a sudden it's a problem. You know something? I'm sick and tired of this, because when I honestly do agree with majority of the stuff that certain people say, including Henry, including Emmanuel Petit, including all these guys. They've said a lot of things that are factually that are facts, and I only disagree maybe on 1 or 2 points. But the moment you disagree with anybody, it's how dare you disagree with Tony Adams about the captaincy? How dare you disagree with Henry about this? How dare you disagree about this? You can have a difference of opinion, even though they're a club legend, doesn't mean they're God. At the end of the day, these people were former players of the club. I respect their time at the club. I respect the fact that they're a club legend, but I just don't think think Paul Merson can fully represent Arsenal when he is a former Chelsea, when he's a current Chelsea fan and also spews nonsense on a regular basis. But hey, you guys are going to tell me if Ian Wright was sitting here saying a wild take, you guys would say, hey, Ian Wright is in the pockets of the club. And I'm just saying, I think I don't think it's right that Paul Merson's always on here talking about Arsenal in a negative manner and coming on these shows as an Arsenal representative. Same way, I wouldn't want Ashley Cole representing Arsenal on a panel talking about a game representing Arsenal when he's a Chelsea guy. Even though he won trophies with us and he came through our academy, he's now a Chelsea guy. Simple. That's my opinion. If you guys disagree with it, tell me why. We'll have a conversation. We'll see if you can change my mind.
DJ, no, your mind. No, yeah, change. Go on, no, Kenny. You're fully sorry.
No, go on, Kenny. Go on, mate.
No, it's change your mind. You're fully entitled to your opinion, but so are we. So we're entitled to our opinion. It's funny you mentioned Ian Wright. You know, the same people that are having a go at Paul Merson are tweaking for Ian Wright. You know, Ian Wright wasn't grow up an Arsenal fan either. So he was a West Ham fan. I've got photos of him in a West Ham shirt, and he used to go and watch Millwall. But because he's positive, he's allowed. No one calls him out. Martin Kerr is another one, ultra positive. You know, still wishes he played for the club, but no one calls him out. The fact is that no Arsenal fan has an issue with Paul Merson being a top Chelsea fan. It's one of the worst kept secrets. Even when he played and made his debut, we knew he was Chelsea. Not a problem. The reason why Paul Merson's on those panels, Egal, is because Paul Merson has got experience of winning 2 Premiership titles, or in the 1980s, and it was called the League. So he knows about title runnings. He knows about pressure games. So that's why they get him on, and that's why we want to hear experience. Darren Bent played for Spurs. He's an Arsenal fan. I don't want to hear from Darren Bent, because Darren Bent, as much as he loves the club, much more than Paul Merson ever will, he hasn't had the experience of big games. So I don't want to hear from him. I don't mind hearing from Martin Keown. I've had some really great conversation with Martin Keown and disagreements to his face. But he's just as much a legend as Paul Merson. I haven't got an issue with it. The fact he's a Chelsea fan, that's tough shit. Tony Adams is a West Ham fan. His cousin, Steve McKenzie, played for Man City. They're both West Ham fans, both from Romford. Ray Parler, the biggest West Ham fan going, even when he played for us, still going to games. It's not an issue. I don't know why you see it as an issue. I'm not here to change your mind, because your mind's made up anyway. Because I'm sure you've had similar misgivings about Paul Merson previously. It's not the first time that you would have made that comment. It's just that it's just that a little of disagreements you had with Paul Merson. That's fine. No one's here to change your mind. But all I'm trying to say is that I want to hear from players the good, the bad, and ugly. Let's face it right now. When we start winning trophies again, then when these guys start trying to coming out with criticism, I'll call them out. We're there for the taking. We talk a good game at the football club. We tell everyone we've got the best squad in the Premiership and that we've got a great record against the top 6 and we haven't lost them in 1,000 days. But guess what? I saw a video where all those clubs that we were unbeaten against all won trophies. Spurs, Man City, Man United even, Liverpool, and Chelsea. So we got the great record. They walk away with the trophies. So that's why I think Arsenal fans shouldn't be too sensitive. The best way to deal with any negativity is to go out there this season and win the league at a canter.
100%.
Because that's the best tonic to anyone criticising the club. That way, everything you said about Mick Arteta, Igal, you've won. You won. Trust me, they'll be parading, instead of parading the trophy, they're parading you. Because that's the way to win. Not having a dig at Paul Merson or any other fans negative. Let's see it for what it is. We're all in the same boat here. This is the most scrutinised season we're ever going to have, where everything we do is going to be scrutinised. Everything you do, Egal, everything you do, DJB, everyone on this panel, every podcast will be scrutinised. So let's wait to the end of the season. Let's win things, and that's to be the best, shield or sword against all the negativity and all the people that are trying to put us down. But until that happens, we're fair game, and we just have to take it on the chin. Seriously.
Preach, Kenny. Preach, bro. I agree with everything you said. I think you're spitting facts. And if I'm honest with you, I do respect pundits. I do respect people who respect their job. They can say what they want as far as I'm concerned. The ones that I do listen to are the ones that have wore this shirt. And the ones I do listen to are the ones that aren't trying to keep the club pretty, in my opinion. By just saying, oh, yeah, we know that you know, Cronkies ain't really great, but we'll just say they're good. I want to keep my ambassador role. I ain't going to do that. I ain't listening to people like that. Like, for me, you know, they're not saying how it is because they're not allowed to. And I get it. They've got to pay the bills. They've got to keep their job, right? But I still can't.
But what's the difference between what you're saying and what I'm saying, Dan?
Nothing. I'm not saying what you're saying is wrong. I'm just saying what I think. I think Paul Merson's someone to be listened to. You think he's a Chelsea fan, so you're not going to respect his opinion. That's fine.
One thing I will quickly add on to that is it's a dark day for humanity, not just football, when you just have to keep coming out and apologising for stuff. What's wrong with everyone?
No.
Why have you got to keep apologising? He supported Chelsea as a boy and he still does, but he was unbelievable for Arsenal Football Club. As Kenny said, he's won titles for Arsenal Football Club. That man was unbelievable for Arsenal Football Club. What's he got to come out and apologise for? Do you know what? I know it's not a football thing, but I get so sick and tired of this little bitty generation and some bitty people and bitty football fans that just demand apologies for no reason. Do you know what I mean? What's he got to apologise for? Why are people even demanding it? Go look at yourself in the mirror. Anyone that demanded an apology from Paul Merson for supporting Chelsea as a football kid. What are we doing here?
I think he was
really
being sarcastic.
Come on, no, man. It's a dark day.
He's being sarcastic. No one's asking for an apology.
Yeah, but I mean, you can't come out and do it. Like, what we doing? What does he have to feel? He obviously feels like he's got to come and do it because everyone's such a wet wipe. You know what I mean? Everyone is. Everyone's a wet wipe. So you got to apologise because you don't want to offend anyone. Come on, man. How mad is it that we've come to this? But you know what I do disagree with is he's an Arsenal football player, an Arsenal legend, a proper legend. Not like this manager, Arteta. He is a proper legend, Paul Merson. And when the day you start disregarding what people have done for the shirt, you might not agree with it, but the day you start disregarding what legends have to say that have put the shift in for this football club, I'm sorry, I don't agree with that. It's no good. Absolutely no good.
No, but you know something? You guys disagree with the people who are positive. I'm pretty sure I've seen a lot of Martin Keown get a lot of stick from people like yourself and Lee. Also, Ian, a lot of stick from people like yourself and Lee. You pick and choose which legends you want to agree with because they align with your opinion. If you kept it consistent and you said all legends are untouchable based on their opinion,
but how would you keep it consistent? If it's an opinion that you agree with someone on, how can you keep that?
I'm tired about this double standard.
If we agree with one person, well, you don't. So how can I go? Well, do you know
I
what?
agree on one thing. I agree on one
thing.
thing.
Do you know what? I'll just agree with them other three to get a mean average in there. If you agree with them, you agree with them. If you don't, you don't. Whether that's five.
There's a difference,
whatever.
but there's also a difference between disagreeing and
disrespecting. There's two different things we're complaining here. I don't have a problem with anybody speaking their opinion. Say what you want to say. But when he comes on shows, he's coming as a former Arsenal player, Arsenal legend, representing Arsenal, and he's sitting there saying nothing positive. Majority of the time, it's cool. And to me, it's like we're as much as everyone wants to say, yeah, we didn't win the league over the last 3 years. There's a lot of positive to point out throughout this time, and I feel like he had a majority of the time whenever I'm tuning in.
That's not because he's a Chelsea fan. That's just his take
whenever
on
I'm
the
tuning in and I'm seeing him.
Why can't you differentiate between the two? Maybe that's just his opinion on Arsenal without being a Chelsea fan. Why can't you separate them two? Why can't you? Maybe he just is a little bit.
I think there's plenty of people. Sorry. I honestly just said what I said, and if people disagree with it, they disagree with it. But my main point was never to attack him as a legend, discount his legacy at the club, none of that. I was simply saying when he speaks about Arsenal, I feel like he's a little biased, and I don't listen to him.
So you don't listen to Paul Merson when he speaks, but you'll listen to Martin Keown and Ian Wright. I listen to Martin Keown and Ian Wright, but I've never disrespected Martin Keown and Ian Wright. I've just not agreed with them. There's a big difference. I don't
think I'm disrespecting somebody.
Well, for someone, something's gone round because for a professional football player like Paul Merson to come onto social media platforms and feel that he has to apologise to Arsenal fans that he's a Chelsea fan, then
maybe it's the age disconnect because he's
at the end of the day, right? Tony Adams.
Because there's idiots online. There's a lot of kids online.
I'll take you. Let's go down to another legend, Tony Adams. Right, wore his heart on his sleeve, very, very passionate. You ask Tony Adams anything, and he'll give you a passionate answer. That's just the way he is. But the reason why he came across passionate, and because he criticised who should be captain and everything else, he was another one that got absolutely slated, which is fine, which is fair enough. But you do have to respect their opinion, whether it's passionate or not. And Paul Merson, I don't care if he's a Chelsea fan, Ipswich fan, Leicester fan, if he's calling out problems that he can see at this football club, and he doesn't believe in certain things that's going on at this football club, and he's watched it with his own eyes, and he's been there, done it, worn a T-shirt and everything 20 times over, then I'm going to listen to him. I'm not going to listen to anything.
If Paul Merson would come out tomorrow and say, Paul, who do you think is going to win the league? Arsenal. I think Arteta's do it. I think they've got a brilliant squad. I think they've done a brilliant transfer window. I really think they'll win this year. Would you take that? Would you say, "Oh, get him off my screen"? Disrespectful. Not listening to him. Would you listen to him then? No, I'm asking you. Would you listen to him then, or would you just say, "No, he's talking rubbish"? So what I'm getting at, is it what he said, or is it you don't like Paul Merson? Which one is it?
Honestly, it has nothing to do with what he said specifically. At that moment in time, I was just more triggered that he's sitting here saying "we" as a Chelsea fan. How you expect somebody sitting there saying "we" as a Chelsea fan is going to be
because he played for the club for ages, bro? Like, he says "we" because he loves Arsenal.
No, he says "we" as Chelsea
fan.
No. He says "we" as Chelsea. He doesn't say "we" for Arsenal.
Yeah, so again, he's either saying "we" as Arsenal, "we" as Chelsea.
Honestly, I know it's a slippery slope. I know it's a slippery slope. If not every single club legend is or former great player for Arsenal is an Arsenal fan. I get that. But at the same time, when he's coming on all these television shows representing Arsenal, to me, it's weird hearing him speak as if from a perspective of, we as a Chelsea fan, claiming them over Arsenal. And even through his Twitter, he says, when they ask him, who do you support? He says, I only support one club, Chelsea.
Yeah.
So pundits can only be pundits of teams that they've managed. Teams that they supported when they was a kid. Then, so that's it. You can't. No one else can talk about anyone else on any professional level.
I'm not saying that, but it's a little bit different.
What you're
getting. It's a little bit different when your club legend is saying openly he fully supports a London rival over the club that he was a massive part of.
Do you reckon that because he supported Chelsea, it hampered his performances on the field for Arsenal Football Club?
No,
because I don't.
No.
So what does it matter about his opinion then outside of it?
I'm not questioning him.
So his professionalism isn't in question then. So why can't he talk about Arsenal then if his professionalism isn't in question?
I just think
because I think you are questioning his professionalism by not saying that he shouldn't be talking about Arsenal.
I'm not questioning his professionalism as a footballer.
By definition,
what you're saying is so
literally are.
Hang on a minute. So if Lee Dixon, who's a Man City fan, comes out and says everything positive about Arsenal and Arteta's this, and it's a wonderful squad and it's the best squad in the Premiership, and they're going to do this and they're going to do that, and with the massive squad in depth and where he's taken Arsenal from where they were are absolutely fantastic, blah. And if Lee Dixon came out as that, as a pundit, being a staunch Man City fan, I mean massive Man City fan, the fact that he still goes and watches them, right? That'd be acceptable, would it? You're okay for Lee Dixon to say everything positive about the football club, being a Man City fan, but Paul Merson that says certain things that may be a little bit kind of negative towards the club is unacceptable because he's a Chelsea fan.
I think you're agreeing with us, Igal. I think you are, bro. I think you are agreeing with us. I think you've got annoyed that he's a Chelsea fan and that he's talking about we, and you want Paul Merson to be one of us and all that kind of thing. But I think deep down, I think we're all on the same page. That's what I think anyway. I'm not saying you're wrong, Igal, for how you feel. It's how you feel, mate, and you support the club how you want to. But for me, I listen to Paul Merson. I listen to anybody that wore the Arsenal shirt. The only ones that I will say that I'm question marks about is those that I think are trying to say the right thing for the club so they might one day become an ambassador or get a job there. They're the only ones I have a question mark over, man. But look, we'll move because otherwise we're going to go around in circles on this point. Let's talk about the first question. I've got some truth or trash questions tonight for a little bit different. And I wanted to start with this one, man. D, I'll come to you on this, bruv. This is a question I've been posed today. I've seen it on podcasts. I've seen a few clips on TikTok. A lot of people are saying no excuses now. Arsenal have the best squad in the league. Do you agree with that?
I was having this conversation with a few people. I said Man City. I still think Man City's squad's deeper and got more quality. But people. I had a conversation with someone. They said that we've got the most balanced squad. So, I mean, how do you judge it? Do you think the most balanced squad is the strongest, or do you think the most depth is the strongest?
I think the depth, if I'm honest.
The depth. Then it's Man City have got the strongest depth. But in terms of the most balanced, I think we've probably got the most balanced currently. Because Man City's defense is obviously a shambles, but their squad in midfield and attack is rich with talent. So I know it's hard. It's a hard one, but I think the overall point is our squad good enough to win the league? That's the overall point, and I think it is. I think our squad is good enough to win the league. So that's what it comes down to, really and truly. Like, do you feel this squad is good enough to win the major trophies? And I think it is. But in terms of whether it's the best, I still think City have probably got the most depth in quality. If they lose players, they can bring other players in that are the similar quality. So I still think it's City, but we're not far behind.
Anyone else?
There's a few variables that you can add to this question as well, to be fair. Like the best squad in the league, you can almost go it by know-how as well. So instead of just reading names off a list, you can almost say, well, look, Liverpool, current defending champions, they've got the likes of an Alisson, a Van Dijk, a Salah, who have been there, done it, got the T-shirt. And you could also say the same for Manchester City numerous times. So, when you sort of factor in quite a few different variables, I'd say Arsenal haven't got the best squad in the league. That know-how definitely lacking behind the other two, of course, because they've won it numerous times. But look, listen, we've got a good enough. You
know what? Let me sorry, Aaron, let me sorry to cut you, bro. That's the point that I was trying to make to somebody because I think what we do, we always use the attributes of the best in terms of this guy is the best player and he's the best player and all that stuff. But we never ever take into account mentally and the know-how and the winning mentality. So, for example, for a fact that even though Gyökeres and Haaland are both clearing away serious goal scorers in Europe, we know one of them is a serial winner and a serial proven a champion. We know that Ederson might not be as good as David Raya currently, but we know Ederson can do it consistently over the course of 38 games. So it just depends on, do you judge it just based on talent alone and your attributes, or do you judge it based on the mentality that you have as well? Because there's a difference in terms of winning than there is of being a good player. It's two different things.
Yeah, there's also one major factor in between the other two, and that's Slot is a winning manager. Pep is a winning manager, and Arteta, so far, he is not a winning manager. So we can have the best, we can have a great squad, we can have the best 11, we can have the whatever you want to call it. But if this manager can't tactically find a way to get this team over the line, if he can't prove his worth being the second highest paid manager in the country, then it's pointless. You can have all the best tools, and if you're not qualified, what are you doing with them? Do you know what I mean? So it's all down to the manager. Well, have we got a good team?
Do you think we've got the best squad, though? Do you think we've got the best squad?
No, like I said, I don't think we have got the best squad. I think we've got a squad. If put in the hands of the right manager, I'm not saying they'd be favourites, but I reckon they could win the league.
Who do you think got the best squad?
I'm not saying they will.
Who do you think does?
Yeah, it's sort of tricky to pinpoint with the Liverpool Man City because they've obviously got strength in different areas. Like you said, I think City's defence, and especially now their goalkeeper, until they get sorted, there's big question marks there. But yeah, going forward, it's a real tricky one. Liverpool's midfield, I've always sort of liked what's going on there. They've got Salah, albeit not forever. They've still got a good sort of forward line. It's a tricky one.
I think Man City and Liverpool, right? Man City and Liverpool have probably got better individuals in their first 11.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that, I like every single player in this squad, but I actually think Arsenal, in terms of depth, has probably got the best right now. This window.
But if we lose Gyökeres,
there's no excuses to go and win a trophy, is there?
But if we lose Gyökeres, though, Dan, for example, let's imagine Gyökeres goes down. We don't have a striker all of a sudden.
Yeah, but neither do Man City if they lose Haaland, bro.
No, but they've won leagues without a striker before. That's the point I'm making. You know what I'm saying they've done
that. Comes to the manager. That's not the squad.
One second. That's not because of poor squad planning. We actually have two strikers before Moreno. If
Jesus. I agree with that. Jesus
and Havertz are also injured at this moment in time. So it's not like it's poor squad planning. I genuinely believe this is the best squad we've had in damn near 2 decades. We have so much depth in every key area. From the defense, having 8 solid defenders that can play in every position, and plus, Kivior goes out the door. What do? Immediately go for what do you call it? The guy from Leverkusen. So it goes to show that they're serious about filling out the squad. Also, from the defense, I think every team somewhat has holes, but Arsenal right now have solved the majority of their holes. Liverpool probably have more holes than us. Liverpool have more holes than us.
What about the left back?
What about
What's going
I
on
was
with left
just
back?
going to say,
No,
what
no,
about
one
the left
second,
back,
one
the
second.
left sided?
Let me finish. You go to Manchester City, they don't have a right back. They have questions over who's their best starting 11 at this moment in time. They don't have an idea what their best center back pairing. Everything seems to be still figuring it out at Manchester City. Liverpool, they've just brought in 2 new fullbacks. Their midfield, they're trying to figure it out with Florian Wirtz, how to get the best balance with Florian Wirtz coming into the team. And they haven't yet signed Isak, and they're pretty much depending on Cody Gakpo and Rio on the left, Salah and Chiesa on the right, and they pretty much only have one striker at this moment in time in Ekitike. So we're talking about Arsenal having 1 injury away. Well, Liverpool seem to have just as even more dire situation with it if they do get an injury in their front line. So I'm looking at it from strictly every single team that I'm looking at out of us 3.
Yeah, I agree with that.
In addition to
Klopp's had 13 months
Chelsea,
though, Egal. Arteta's had 5.5, 6 years. That's a massive difference between filling your gaps. That's all well and good. Yeah, that Liverpool do have a couple of gaps. He's had 2 summer windows.
No, but that's a different point.
Arteta's had about 13, 14.
Well, one second.
You were just saying about
I'm
plugging
strictly
holes.
speaking about which squad right now, manager aside, is the most equipped to solve problems.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Fair enough.
We have Man City don't have a hole. Man City have holes in the defense. People have holes in the defense and their attack. Arsenal currently have the most solutions. And forget about the hate you have for the manager or dislike or whatever it is for the manager. Just strictly forget about the managers. If you had the best manager in all 3 squads, who would be able to solve more problems? It's Arsenal. With the sheer amount of
quality, by the way, that we're signing from Leverkusen has been playing at left back quite a lot for Leverkusen as well. So I actually do think that we're covered in pretty much. It'd be nice to just go and buy a left back, to be fair. However, it seems that we want to go and get.
But he is a left back.
Yeah, but why has he played 128 games at centre back then and 50?
No, because they play a back 3.
So he's played
they played a back 3. So
no, he's not. He's not an out and out left back. This is the problem, isn't it? We've still got a lot of players. We've still got a lot of players at the team that the left back's a problem. He's tried Zinchenko there, that hasn't worked. Skelly's not a left back. Calafiori's not a left back, and now he's got another defender on the way that's versatile that can play left back. The only left back that we did have at the club was Kieran Tierney, and he let him go. So, you know, there's still a problem in that left back area. It's still vulnerable to get exposed. And the left side of midfield as well is still a problem. So, you know, you're looking at all these, because I know what you're going to say. You're going to say, yeah, but Eze's a left winger. No, he's not a left winger. Eze's not a left winger. That's got to stop now because he's not a left winger, right? Any Palace fan will tell you that Eze's not a left winger. He will probably even tell you that he's not a left winger. So we still haven't got a left winger.
So what position did he play for Palace?
He played in the 10.
In the last few games, he played left, but he's a 10. We know he's a 10. But in the last few games,
he's a 10. He ain't a left winger.
And
he's not a left winger. So although our squad, and I agree with you. No. Listen, I agree with you that our squad is pretty solid this season. So there shouldn't be any reasons why we can't win the Premier League, the Champions League, the FA Cup, and the Carabao Cup, other than the man in the dugout. But other than that, our squad is pretty solid, right? All I would say, there are still concerns in the squad, and Dee mentioned it, and I've been mentioning it. One of my biggest concerns is if anything happens to Gyökeres, there ain't no real backup in that department. Jesus was pretty diabolical before he got injured, and Havertz scored 9 Premier League goals. So there's no real backup with Gyökeres if he goes out injured. And the left-hand side is still a problem. It's still not been really 100% solved.
DJB,
right,
you know...
Can I go? Because I'm not entire take.
That's not a criticism. That's just my concerns at the squad.
No, I understand.
You go, then Kenny can come in. Go on, Nigel.
This is what annoys me. As much as we say he's not a left winger, we also speak about our left wingers touching the touchline too much, and we need somebody closer to goal. We need somebody who can help create, somebody who offers more creativity, who can do more. just because Eze doesn't play the same way Saka and Martinelli to play doesn't mean he can't play the left wing at Arsenal. Left wing at Arsenal can be played similar to how Eden Hazard played for Chelsea. He was a left winger, but he played very central. You have just because you're a left winger doesn't mean you have to be occupying the touchline.
Yeah,
you
can I just come in? I agree with what you're saying. I agree with what you're saying, but Eze would be more effective off the left wing.
Eze,
he's not as effective
Crystal Palace has been playing on the left side of the pitch for the last 4 years. Even though he's considered part of a front three where he's a second 10, he has always occupied that left half space to the left wing and somewhat centrally, but never played as an out and out 10 on a consistent basis. He was always a second 10. Same way how Sarr is considered a right 10, but we all know Sarr is not a 10. Sarr is a winger, but he's occupying that space on the pitch for Palace. So I think if you actually look at how we're going to have to play with Eze, he's going to probably be more closer to the middle rather than touching the touchline like Saka or Martinelli. And when you look at Alexis Sanchez, was he a touchline winger? No, he wasn't. He was scoring majority of his goals a lot more centrally. Same way as Eden Hazard. Same way when you look at all these players who played predominantly on the left-hand side over the last couple of years, the best left wingers have been playing in that more central half space, closer to goal or the edge of the box. And I think that's where he's going to play. And I don't think it's a problem that he's going to play as a left winger or if he plays as a left 8. Wherever he plays, Mikel Arteta will have him occupying that space on the pitch and fixing the left-hand side. So
okay,
the main issue has been the left-hand side was ineffective. Yeah, the main issue has been the left-hand side was ineffective. He solves that ineffectiveness in the left-hand side with his creativity.
Okay, look, we got 1.5k in here. Let's make sure we hit the likes, people. Make sure we hit subscribe. All of you guys are being lazy, so let's make sure you hit those 2 buttons that are free. Make sure you're checking out OK Jerseys tonight, sponsors as well. Kenny, go for it, mate.
No, I think the question needs to be rephrased. It's not a pace of Arsenal having the best squad in the league. It's that Mikel's got options now. He's got an option now to move the wheel tactically with Gyökeres in the side. Everyone talks about Arsenal. Arsenal know who their best 11 is. Well, it was until we signed Eze, because Eze's been signed for about £60-something million. We got to find a way to fit him in the side, but he's got decisions to make. You know, he's got to put his nuts on the table regarding that one, because you've got a player that we've all been crying out for. We're all been celebrating we got him in the team. Yet, if you asked us, can he fit in the side? Realistically, we're thinking, well, the position that we think he should be playing in number 10, Odegaard's there. So that's a situation where he has got that selection headache. And that's what I like about his squad, is that I can now say that, and I can now demand that, you know what, we can move the ball a bit quicker because we now got Gyökeres. We can now play a bit more direct on him because we now got 2 wingers in Saka and Madueke. We now got a situation where we can have more options creatively because Odegaard, Saka, and now we've got Eze. So he's got no excuses not to be able to change their style of play. And then the player that he's wanted for a long time, Zubimendi, he is, you know, vastly different to Thomas Partey. Thomas Partey and Zubimendi are night and day. Thomas Partey played the number 6 a different way. Zubimendi is brought in the side in order to give us a lot of control in games, especially in Europe. So in that respect, that's what I like about his squad. I couldn't care less who had the best squad or not. I just want a situation where in certain games, we now have options where we can try something different rather than go for the same ponderous way we play. You know, try and, you know, stop the overloads, make sure that we're in all the positions, and then attack, you know, methodically, you know, see if we can create a chance, see if we can create a chance for a set piece. We can now play differently. The set piece in a methodical way, yeah, that's one option, one way of playing. But now, with the better players that we got, we can now play another way which can help us. You know, like 2 seasons ago, goal difference helped us. Well, now we've got Gyökeres and we now got a bit more creativity. We can smash teams like Leeds. That's what I liked about Leeds' game. Is that we put them to the sword. None of this, oh yeah, let's you know, worry about the counter attack and worry about the overloads. No, they're crap. Let's go for them. And that's what I like about this squad. In terms of is it better than Man City, Liverpool? They're different teams. They've got different managers, different way of playing. Liverpool, probably realised that they probably needed another defender. But in terms of their attack, they're desperate for Isak because Salah's not going to be there all the time. Be there maybe in a year or two's time, so they need him now. And Ekitike, he's going through a nice purple patch. But reality might kick in on Sunday when he plays against us. So they're definitely going to need it well. And then Man City, they got a reality check against Tottenham. I mean, how Tottenham do it? I know. I just don't know how they got that fluky record against them. So it's one of those things where we've got to be immaculate, but against teams that are camped on the goal line, we've got to find a different way. But with this squad, he's got no excuses whatsoever. And that's what I like about the squad. I'm not best squad in the league, not bothered. It's whether he has enough options to play a different way where we can actually hold him to account because we now know we have Eze, we've got Gyökeres, we've got Zubimendi, we've got creativity. You know what I mean? Another thing what I like about the squad as well is injury. We're going to get injuries. We've seen two players get secondary injuries. So we know we need cover in that period. Gabriel, this guy from Leverkusen, he's not just signed to play at left back. He's signed in case something happens to Gabriel. Because with the injury he had, he might have a secondary injury. So that's, in that respect, that's great. So when we do lose a player, we said, all right, fine. These players have got enough quality to not so much replicate what we've lost, but we know that they can go to places like Anfield, go to all these places and say, you know what, we're still going to have a chance of winning. That's all I've ever wanted.
Look, I've got to be honest. I think there's probably 4 positions that, as a fan base, people are talking about. Not sure in terms of depth. Left back is one that's mentioned. An out-and-out left winger. Declan Rice, box-to-box cover, and probably cover for Gyökeres, that we've mentioned. I think other than that, I think we're pretty much there or thereabouts. So I might be in the minority here, but I actually think that the squad itself has actually got 0 excuses for Mikel Arteta this season, because I think the squad is there really to go and win a trophy. So I think that's what has to happen, in my opinion, man. But look, I want to move to the next one. Otherwise, we're going to be on these forever.
Can you go to Owen's Super Chat quickly?
Say again?
Can you go to Owen's Super Chat? Because very relevant to the conversation we're having right now.
Super Chats. Yeah, let's bring him in. US Liverpool fan here, Gal.
Is that the one, Gal? Is that the wrong one?
Do you want to address this one, do you? Or?
I think that's the wrong one, Dan. I don't think Gal wanted that one.
That's the wrong one. This guy's calling me a Cowboys fan. Basically, they're a team. They're a team that just always say, "This is our year."
I don't think that's the one Gal wanted, Dan.
Nah, clearly not. It's this one. City has had Bernardo Silva, David Silva, and Foden at the wings. Obviously, Eze isn't as good as those players, but it's a similar concept. But then again, they have Pep, and you have the Cone Man.
You know what I will say, though? What I will say, though. Sorry,
let me just respond to it.
Wait. Let me say one thing.
I brought it up for a reason. I want to just get
No, wait. Let me say one more thing. Let me say one thing. One other thing why I think that he has no excuses, because I also believe that Arteta has enough experience now as well to win the league. I feel like he's lost it enough times that he's got enough experience. He's had 3 or so years of not winning the league. So I feel like this is experience that you're gaining. You know what I'm saying? I feel like that's enough also. Because we always say that he hasn't had enough experience. So I think that as well. That's my point. But yeah, sorry, go on.
The reason why I was bringing up Owen's comment is because we've also seen it under Mikel Arteta. Emil Smith-Rowe, he's not a 10. Is he not a 10? He played as a left winger for Arsenal. And he did a damn good job. He occupied a similar space to what I would expect Eze to occupy. And he was drifting in from the left wing, occupying a little bit more central areas at times in that left half space, and giving us a lot of threat, scoring a lot of goals. And I could see a similar situation where he plays him similar to how he had Smith-Rowe playing in that position earlier.
He also played Smith-Rowe up front, though, to be fair. So do you know what I mean?
He played Smith-Rowe.
Yeah, he played him as a false 9. So really, I don't really trust what this manager does with players.
No, he played him as a left winger.
Remember the Villarreal. Yeah, and he also had him up front in some games. Villarreal comes to mind as a false 9. So do you know what I mean? I get your point. Okay, but I just don't really trust what this manager will do with Eze out on the wing.
So we pick a one-off, right, to make everything sound ridiculous. Honestly,
do you think the defensive quality?
Majority of the time that Emil Smith-Rowe was at Arsenal, was he not playing as a left winger?
Out of position, yeah. That's the point. And that's the point we're saying about Eze. If you play him left winger, Gal,
was Eden
he
Hazard out
will
of
be
position?
playing out of
Was
position.
Eden Hazard out of position as a left winger?
Oh, so now you're changing it all to make it
No.
look. It's funny,
another
isn't it,
10.
that you do the
I
same
know.
thing?
I'm keeping it consistent. It's another 10 playing as a left winger.
Eden Hazard. So what are we comparing now, a Gal? Are we comparing a Gal? Eden Hazard, are we doing that with Eze? Is that what we're doing? Two different players?
Comparing tens. I'm comparing.
We're going to
tens
compare him with
playing
Lionel Messi in a minute.
What is wrong with it? What is wrong? Can I angle that differently then, Egal? What is wrong with Eze playing as a 10? Is it because Odegaard would have to be dropped or something?
No, because our best team would have him as a left winger.
What about his defensive qualities then? Because Arteta likes his wingers to track back and defend. Eze's got no qualities in that department, does he?
He played at Crystal Palace where he had to defend a lot also. He's already used to that.
Not in a left wing position, he never.
Boys, I just don't know why Mikel Arteta can't sign a player and just play him in his goddamn position.
Why can't we can't we have Eze created in a 10?
First of all, we're arguing over
all over the place. Just play him in his position.
We're arguing over something irrelevant. Because at the end of the day, let me show you why it's slightly irrelevant. Because at the end of the day, we signed Ben White and Timber, who were considered centre backs. We played them at fullback. We signed Calafiori. We signed Calafiori, who's considered a defender, a centre back. We play him at fullback. We signed multiple players. Declan Rice, who we consider DM, we play him as a box-to-box midfielder.
So you're proving my point nicely. Thank you very much.
Just because you think a player is bought for this specific job doesn't necessarily mean there's that job.
Top man, I appreciate you proving my point there.
No, people are just naturally presuming that Eze plays on the
player is in a box.
That whole squad's all over the place. Mikel Marino's out of position. Havertz is out of position. Jesus is out of position. You've got all the left backs. Every single one of them are out of position. Ben White's out of position. They're all the goalkeeper and the two centre backs. They're all out of position. Why can't you just sign a player and play him in his strongest position? Why has everything got to be this? I'm a fake little genius. Why can't you just buy number 10 and play him a number 10? Why can't you just do that?
All right.
It's
ridiculous. Time for heat maps. Tell me, does this look like a 10 or does this look like a left-sided player? That is his whole entire Premier League campaign in 2024, 2025. Then 2023, 2024, once again.
Yeah, but look where he's more centrally, isn't he? He's not an out-and-out left winger, is he?
No, but that's I'm showing you.
He's not. No. Go back to it then again.
I'm showing you multiple seasons.
You put it up. Let's have a look at it.
One second. I'm not done.
Let's have a look at it.
This is another time.
No, go back.
It's not central. It's more in the mid. It's more on either wing.
Go back. I'm telling you what. Because if you put Odegaard's heat map up, it'd be quite similar. So go back.
Okay, we could do that.
So Odegaard's going to be our new cover right winger now again.
Let me finish.
So Odegaard's going to be a right winger, is he? Because that's very similar to Odegaard. That looks more central to me. That doesn't look like a winger to me. Why don't you compare it? Why don't you compare that with Martinelli then?
We'll compare it with Martinelli in a second. How about this? This is his 2020-2021 season, predominantly on the left wing, drifting inside.
Give you that 2021. Forward. But we haven't. But
then you go forward. Then you go to. Sorry, DJB, please let me just finish this, and then you can say whatever you need to say, and I'll show you whatever whatever you want to see. Number 2 is the 2021-2022 season, as you can see, predominantly on the left wing. Then you go to the 2022-2023 season. That season he played on both wings. He rotated. And you can see he's once again not playing centrally, playing on either wing. Then here, once again, 2023, 2024. This season, you can see he's a lot more central, but that's because he's drifting in from that left-hand side. It's not like he's in the middle. Then you go to the next season, which is last season, and once again, coming in from that left-hand side, a little bit more central, but at the same time, more on the left-hand side rather than in the middle. So at no point was he actually playing as a central 10.
Now put Odegaard
he was always a left-sided player drifting inwards. He's an inside forward from the left-hand flank.
Or Odegaard's heat map up, it'd be very, very similar. You'd be calling him a right winger then.
Martin Odegaard is a right-sided 8.
So, in your opinion, you think that Eze is going to be more effective, that's going to win us the Premiership if he plays on the left? Bearing in mind that this manager likes his wingers to defend as well as attack.
because Saka has not been used in the final third effectively enough because he spent half of his time defending and covering. That's why we want him further up the pitch, scoring goals where he's more dangerous, playing in the final third. But he's not been able to do that. And he's not going to be able to do that in the next 4 weeks. He's not going to be able to do that in the next 4 weeks because he's injured again. But what I'm trying to say is Eze would be more effective in a more central position than he would in the left wing. That is my opinion, and that is mostly the opinion of any Crystal Palace fan.
You're changing his position. You're changing his position then.
Sorry?
Gal, be consistent. What you always say. You're always consistent. That's apparently what you say. Put the Odegaard stat up. Don't just do one. Do both of them. I think that's fair. And we'll have a little goosey.
All right, here we go. Odegaard. What is this? 2024-2025 season. The whole right-hand side.
Oh, that's it.
Side.
Yeah,
not just one season.
Similar to Eze's. But he's a right winger.
Now the other seasons, don't just do one season again. Don't just do one season.
Hang on a minute. Whoa, there's Odegaard.
Let's not be dishonest here. Eze, you can clearly see was much more red closer to the wing and drifting in. Odegaard is the whole pitch almost.
Not one.
Really?
Not one. You're just saying what you want to see, Miguel. It's very similar.
What are you saying, brother? Because would you say that is very similar to Eze?
Back again. Oh, look, exactly the same.
Oh, look.
But Odegaard's the winger.
Hang on a minute. But Odegaard's not a right winger, is he, Gal?
So what you're saying as well is if we was to be buying Odegaard now, if we was to buy Odegaard, you'd play him at right wing based on your logic and metric. If we was to buy Odegaard now, you'd play him as a right winger. That's exactly what you're saying with Eze. You cannot escape that. Well, yeah, it is. It's exactly the same.
That's what you're saying, Gal.
If we was to buy Odegaard now, we'd play him as a right winger.
Gal, you've just shown us the heat map of Eze, right? And I said to you, bring up the heat map of Odegaard and it'll be similar. Anyone that walks in this room now would not be able to tell you whether that was Odegaard or Eze. And yet you're classifying Eze as more effective on the left. On that basis, Odegaard's a right winger because there's no difference.
Odegaard is clearly a right-sided 8. We play with 2 8s.
But his heat map says he's a winger.
If I pull up Declan Rice's, it will probably be the same as what do you call it?
So basically, then if you do that, then your heat map is just a load of bollocks. That's what it is. Then if you're pulling up and everyone's is the same, then basically the bit of evidence that you brought to prove your point's an absolute load of shit. If they all look the same, it's just in it. You can't use that if they all look the same. So what one is it, Gal? What one, mate? What one is it?
To be fair, Declan Rice plays everywhere.
Oh, is he a winger as well?
We're talking about Odegaard and Eze. Eze's
no, but Odegaard definitely stays more. Odegaard definitely stays more on the right side, but he's not a winger because we see him. We see what Odegaard does and what areas he picks up the ball. Obviously, he plays.
Really, what we should be doing is we should be looking at a proper winger in the Premier League, and Eze.
Majority of the time, he is playing with Saka.
Now, what we should have done, right, and it comes down to the manager again, is way back in June, this club should have gone all out and got Rodrigo, who's a proper out-and-out left winger, and put Eze in the 10 and dropped the captain that's been pushing stinkers for the last 2 seasons. That's
all of a sudden, then you're looking at a naughty team. Can you imagine Arsenal lining up and you've got Rice and Odegaard Rice and Zubimendi as a double pivot. You got fit Saka on the right hand side of Rodrigo and Eze in the 10 and Gyökeres up top. You're looking at that squad and you're like, yeah, man.
That might be a nice segue.
Wait.
That might be a nice segue.
Somebody asked to see Martinelli's though, right?
Okay, go on then, quickly though, because I want to move this on because this is boring me, so it must be boring everyone else.
Martinelli literally just goes to the corner flag. Pretty bad.
Yeah, I know. He can stay the other side of it.
Shame he's fallen off of a cliff under this man.
Martinelli's heat map.
Oh look, that's a little bit different to Eze, isn't it?
No, but he literally just goes to the corner flag. That's all.
No, he's literally on the left-hand side, Gal. That's completely different to Eze's, and that's completely different.
Obviously, we're not going to play Martinelli and Eze in the same way.
Oh dear. Dan, what was it that you had lined up, my friend?
Yeah, go ahead, bro.
Next question is one that I think everyone will want to get involved in. What will the Arsenal front four be at Anfield? We've got injury problems to Saka. There's doubts over Odegaard. And there's got options. We've got Madueke, we've got young Max Dowman, we've got Ethan Wanyeri, we've got Martinelli, we've got Trossard, we've got Eze. What are we doing? Go on, Kenny, I'll let you start. What are you saying?
No Max Dowman. Let's just put that to bed. Matt, I said what I had to say on Lee Judge's TV after the match, and I'll repeat if you want me to. Let's not forget that the game was won at 4-0 when he came on. There were some players that had some fantastic performances. Madueke looked good. No one wants to talk about that. They want to talk about Timber. Being a man of the match. They even want to talk about Gyökeres. I think the hype for this guy, it's a bit OTT. At the end of the day, there's other players. Let's just. He's exciting. Blah blah. It's great. But we've got other players that are exciting. We've got experienced players who can win us things. So my front four, obviously, Gyökeres up top. On the left-hand side, I'll go for Madueke. The right-hand side, Saka's out. So obviously, on the right-hand side, it's Madueke. On the left-hand side, it's going to be. See, the thing is, I don't want that dibbly-dobbly in that team. I can't stand that dibbly-dobbly. Trossard. I can't have Martinelli in that team. Seriously, I can't have him in that team. But I think he's going to pick one of those dibbly-dobblies, and he's probably going to play Trossard, and then Eze will probably play that number 10, and that probably the front four. But I'll be gutted if that's the case. But if Odegaard plays and he's fit enough to play, then it'll be Eze on the left-hand side, Odegaard in the middle, and Gyökeres up top. But a lot of that has to do with Mikel Arteta's rigidity. And dare I say it, it's not a dig. It's just me just being myself, saying that he ain't got any nuts. He ain't putting his nuts on the table, because eventually, as the season goes on, he's going to have to make a decision regarding Eze and Odegaard. He's gonna, you know what I mean? Whether we can move forward with our attack style of play, and who's going to sort of put us in the best position to hurt teams, because you can't sign a player for that amount of money, knowing full well you play him in at left wing just for the sake of fitting in the team, when you know he's been playing his best football in a position that is not in the left wing. We all know this. We saw what he did it, in the latter stages of last season for Crystal Palace. The positions he took up. If we want to sort of do things in the league and in Europe, we're always crying out about playing a player in their best position. Well, players in his best position. Make a decision, let me tell. Put your nuts on the table. Show us your nuts. Seriously, show us. Put your nuts. Let's see your nuts, because you laugh, but he's got to make that decision eventually.
You said show off your nuts. That's why.
Yeah, but it's funny. You know, deep down, everyone on this panel knows he's got a decision to make regarding.
Our best 11 has both of them in there. One second. I don't think you guys like the fact. I don't think you guys like the fact that our best 11 has both Odegaard and Eze in the same team.
Maybe so, but eventually there's going to be certain games where he's going to have to make that decision. He's going to have to.
What is the decision?
Well, we'll have to wait and see. But I think, right now you're asking me on the sort of, what's the day's date?
No, but what's the decision?
My decision is Odegaard out of team, Eze in a team. That's my decision.
Okay, so who's going to be left winger?
Left winger. Well, left winger, I'll go with Madueke.
Okay, so we're back to square one then.
Because we haven't got. We're not going to get Rodrigo. We're not going to get him. And you know full well, Trossard's a dibbly-dobbly, who's basically master stuffing. Let me finish. And Martinelli's not good enough.
Bro,
they're not good enough.
You've seen Haleb as our winger. It doesn't. We don't necessarily have to have out-and-out wingers playing the same way.
Martinelli and Trossard are not good enough.
I think
that's what I'm saying.
But Eze is good enough to be a left winger.
No, he's not. I disagree with you.
He is. He's
playing number 10. I disagree with you.
I think with this,
disagreeing for footballing reasons.
Yeah, I think with this front forward, then it depends how the manager wants to view it. Because if he looks at the way Liverpool was open defensively in their last two games, then he could set up quite attacking. But on the other end, he could set up the way he did at Man City when Trossard got sent off and he went there defensively and stuff like that. And if he's got that in his head, don't be surprised that Mourinho don't start. You know, so
the thing is though, where's everyone got this?
How I think he'll set up is Madueke on the right, because obviously Saka's not fit, and Madueke's natural position is the right side of midfield. He'll start with Odegaard in the 10, which is disappointing for me because I'd put Eze in the 10. He'll put Odegaard in the 10. And then Aaron said this on my stream the other day, and I agreed with him. I think when you're playing teams like Liverpool, you've got to look at the defensive side of things on like when, going forward as well as coming back. So you're going to need someone on the left-hand side that's going to do his defensive duties as well. Now, that could be, even though he's out of form, but he will track back and do the donkey work, Martinelli. So he could even start with Martinelli on the left and Madueke on the right, Odegaard, and obviously Gyökeres. But
that's what I think he'll. That's what I think he'll realistically start with. Now, if it was me, I'd get Eze in the team somehow. Whether it's him coming off the left, but then the defensive side of me would worry me defensively with Eze on that left hand side.
Why? When he played at Palace, they had to defend for their life majority of the games.
Other than that, he's going to play. He's going to play Eze in the 10, and then still put with Martinelli on the left. So or as I said, it just depends what frame of mind the manager's in. Because if the manager's going to Anfield and thinking, "Hang on a minute, I'll just be happy with a point," then he could just pack out the midfield and play Marino and Zubimendi and Rice. Yeah, we just don't know.
Yeah, no. The reason why I think. Sorry. Yeah, the reason why I think Martinelli on the left will be what he'll go for as well is when you factor in. Look, I know he's started the season okay, Calafiori. I know he's starting it okay. No, he ain't pulled up trees, but he started it okay. Facing Mohamed Salah at Anfield is a totally different perspective to what he has faced. And I reckon he needs a little bit of help there. I think, considering it's away at Liverpool, he usually sets up defensively when he goes away, especially to the bigger sides. I'm thinking he's going to want to look to someone to give that more sort of protection in the Martinelli sort of thing. Because, granted, he probably won't give you loads and loads going forward, but he will absolutely never shirk away from the defensive duties. So, if Calafiori is a little bit exposed against Salah, you could probably more count on a Martinelli on the left-hand side to be able to just give that extra little bit of legs, whether it just be him getting his body in the way or just being there or thereabouts, I actually, if it was me personally, would play Timber left back if Ben White was fit, because the prospect of facing Gakpo and Ben White and Salah and Timber is a lot better to me than vice versa on the right-hand side. And then obviously Salah against Calafiori on the left. I've never really rated Calafiori's defensive one-on-one sort of, well, I always call him Andre Santos because he gets exposed a lot of times. He's an Italian Calafiori, I think, when he's got a good Italian Zinchenko, sorry, when he's got a good winger running at him. So I do worry about that left-hand sort of side. You can't really play Mars Lewis-Skelly there. I mean, you can, but he ain't got a lot of minutes, Dan, and he's been a little bit sort of out of form. So I'd worry about lobbing him in there. So I just think maybe if you're going to play Calafiori there, maybe just shore it up a little bit. And I can see him going down that avenue, if I'm being totally honest with you. Having Rice there, obviously, to give that a bit of protection to the left-hand side. And obviously then Martinelli doing the defensive duties going up. And then you'd like to hope, shame that Saka got injured, but maybe your Gyökeres on your right-hand side can be your creative outlet as opposed to the left-hand side being a bit more defensive. But yeah, that was my thinking on it, mate.
Go on, D.
Yeah, I would go Eze left, Odegaard in the 10 and Madueke right. But the whole thing about the Eze left, like obviously we don't watch Palace every week, but if we just go on the sample size of just this season, he's played left Community Shield and against Chelsea, and he was the best player on the pitch both games. So that should give us enough confidence to say he can be a brilliant left winger. Now, even if he's not a typical left winger, he's still better on the left than our left wingers. A lot better. He's a lot better than Martinelli, and he's a lot better than Trossard. So that should give us a lot of confidence. Having him in the 10 and Odegaard on the bench and having Martinelli or Trossard on the left, I don't want Martinelli or Trossard on the pitch at all. So that's going to be a weaker team. So he's a much better left winger than what we have. So we should be open to that idea and be excited by it, because Eze on the left sounds a lot more prominent and more of an attack than having Martinelli or Trossard on the pitch. That's the difference. If we had Rodrigo in the team, for example, and I can understand the point of having him in the 10, but we don't. So why are we not excited about having Eze on the left and Odegaard in the 10 and Saka on the right? That should be an exciting front three. With that front four and Yoko's up top, that's as good as any in the league. Eze left, Saka right, Yoko's up top is as good as any attack in the league. So I'm not too sure why we're so focused on Eze has to be in a 10, he has to be in a 10, he has to be in a 10. I'm not really too sure why we're focused on that.
D.
Yeah, it's his position.
Plain and simple. That's his position. That's
it's only his position until it's not.
What do you mean?
It's only his position until we decide to play him on the left and he performs on the left. If he starts performing on the left, then
so he's out of position though, and not in his most creative and natural position. But you're not. But the whole idea of having a being a 10. You're playing out of position. You're probably not going to operate to the highest level ability. That might still be at a high level, by the way. But if you're you're a number 10.
It's not about whether or not you think that he's performing to the higher level enough of where his best position is. It's about whether he's performing higher enough to get us to win the league. That's what it's about. It's not about whether he performs well enough. Like Timber's best position is not left back, it's right back. But sometimes we need him to play left back because it suits the game.
Yeah, but there's a difference between what you're saying is, and what you're saying there is, what my position is, changing him there for one game, doing that as a job. But you boys are saying that use that as this whole new position. That's a totally different conversation. Maybe I can see what point you're making. Maybe you could use him in the sparing game, but you boys and Igal, you're talking about he is a left winger. He is not.
But as opposed
using him sparingly in the left wing, I can get it for some games. But he's not.
Who's the alternative? It depends on what the alternative is as to why it makes sense, doesn't it? If our alternative is, like I say, Rodrigo or an old school Hazard, then fair enough. But our alternatives right now are Martinelli and Trossard and Reece Nelson. So if you've got Odegaard in the team, you've got Eze in your team, you've got Saka in the team, you've got all these players on the pitch, the alternatives to play left wing, it has to be Eze.
I don't know what you're saying, but he's better than them by default because they're shit. Not because Eze is an unbelievable left winger. He's better than them because Trossard and Martinelli are shit. That's the only reason why. It's just by default.
That's not the only.
If you had a Rodrigo there, would you play him at left wing?
If I had a Rodrigo in the team. No, but we don't have a Rodrigo. That's the point of why.
Exactly, yeah, but so then you're proving my point. You're fudging him on the left-hand side because you haven't got a proper left winger. If you did have a proper left winger, would you play as a left wing? No.
But that's the point, though. The point is we don't have a proper left winger. That's the whole point.
Go get one and play as in his proper position. That's the point. Buy players and play in their actual position.
No. That's not the point, Aaron.
Go get a left winger for a left winger. Go get a number 10 for number 10. Go get a left back for a left back. Why have we always got to piss around?
That's like saying, why are we playing Saka right wing? Because Saka wasn't a right winger.
No, not when he was a baby. No, not when he was
a but I'm saying that. The point I'm making is,
young age.
Eze is mature enough.
Eze's 27
and good enough to play left wing. If he
can't do a job, you're right. I agree with you. But he's not a left winger. He'll only be a better left winger because our left wingers are shit.
Okay, let me tell you what's going to happen.
Left back than Calafiori as well.
Let me tell you what's going to happen. Yeah. So when he starts performing on the left, yeah, are you going to say now he's good enough to play on the left? What are you waiting for? Are you waiting for him to prove
I'm waiting for a left winger so we can play him in.
No, but let's imagine he goes left wing. Let's imagine he goes left wing. He starts playing left wing because this is what's going to happen, and he's going to perform. Are you then going to say, oh, you know what? He is good enough to play left. Is that what you're going to say? Or are you going to say, no, he needs to play in the 10? Because that's his best position.
Boom. Excellent. Eze's pretty good there. Now let's buy a left winger because we obviously
exactly. So that's exactly my point. Your point is that he has to play in his position no matter what. You're not worried about the team. You're worried about Eze individually. It's the wrong. You're worried about the wrong thing.
Because that's what I believe would be best for the squad and go out and get a left winger. Why do we just have to keep patching things? I don't get it.
If Odegaard is out, right, I don't know if he's fit or not. I've no idea. If people seem to be putting him in the team, if I thought he was out with a shoulder injury, I know he got called up for Norway, but I didn't know if he's playing at the weekend. If he is out, and so is Saka, we know he's out, then I think he might go for something similar to this. If I can actually put it up on screen. Why is my computer mucking around? There we go. Now, I'm with Aaron. I want Timber at left back. I don't want Calafiori there. That's for sure, because his positioning is a bit embarrassing at times. He's had a good couple of games, Calafiori, but against Salah, no thank you. So I want to see Ben White if he's fit at right back and Timber at left back. I think the midfield three. I think Eze comes in if Odegaard ain't in. And then I think Martinelli has to go left, because he's the only one we've got really with pace. Trossard's got no pace against Szoboszlai. He's going to play at right back unless Conor Bradley's fit. And then Madueke right and Gyökeres. Does anyone agree or disagree with that? Would anyone put Ethan in there? Would anyone put Eze on the left and put someone else in the middle?
Eze in the left. Our best team is Eze on the left and Odegaard in the 10.
Yeah, but if Odegaard's out, what do you do then, D? That's what.
Odegaard's out. Sorry, I didn't hear that. Sorry.
If Odegaard's out, you play Ethan and Eze. Get Martinelli out.
Oh, so if Odegaard, what you're saying, if Odegaard's injured, then you play Eze there because that's his actual position. Funny that.
You play Ethan.
No, he said Ethan. He said Ethan.
What? And then you'd put Eze on. You'd play Ethan where Eze is, and Eze on, and take Martinelli out.
Yeah, because
you'd still put Eze on the left.
If I'm not mistaken,
can I ask a question? What is your okay? You're telling us about what's the problem with Eze being on the left, and we keep trying to say to you that because that's not where he's most effective, and that's not his best position.
How do you know that?
Because I've seen him do things for Palace, and he's not been on the left.
Okay,
but he has this season. He has this season though, and he's played more
in the FA Cup.
So you do this. You do this again.
What I'm trying to say is, if I can reverse the question, what is your obsession with having Eze on the left? Then
it's not an obsession. It's strictly
right. The only reason why you want Eze on the left is because once again, this manager's had nearly £1 billion to spend, and the left-hand side is still a problem because the left-hand side's still shit.
But it won't be a problem when Eze's playing on the left. That's the point.
There's no argument.
There's not going to be a problem when he plays on the left.
There's no conversation here. There's no conversation here. The conversation is they don't trust the manager, and this is a new thing to.
No. The conversation is facts.
That's it.
Martinelli,
there's no facts. There's no facts.
Yeah, but DJP, honestly, Eze, Gyökeres, and Saka.
You just told me exactly why you're
getting injured, and now he's going to be thrown out on the left.
No, but forget the manager. Eze, Gyökeres, and Saka is up there with the best attack in the league. Eze, Gyökeres, and Saka. Eze left, Saka right, and Gyökeres up front.
But you don't want Martinelli in the team because Martinelli's out of form and he's fallen off of a cliff. Would you agree?
Say that again.
You don't want Martinelli in the team because he's fallen off of a cliff under this manager and he's not good enough. Would you agree?
I agree with that, yeah.
Right. Odegaard in the last 2 seasons has done exactly the same. He's fallen off of a cliff and he's not good enough. He's proven that he's not been good enough recently. But you'd have Martinelli out the team to put Eze there, but you won't have Odegaard out the team to put Eze there.
Yeah, because I think Martinelli's season has been worse than Odegaard's.
All right, okay.
So I'm going to drop the player that's played worse, obviously. Why would I drop the player that's played better?
But what I'm trying to say, it's still similar, isn't it? You still got two. What we're trying to say is going back to the best squad in the Premiership. You've still got 2 players there that are out of form, and you're trying to fill two positions with 1 player. This is what I'm trying to say. You're trying to put Eze on the left to cover Martinelli, and yet we've still got a problem with the 10.
But Odegaard is more integral to our game than Martinelli is.
Well, he's got to prove it then, D, hasn't he?
Yeah, but he is. When Odegaard doesn't play, we have zero creativity. We all know this.
So do we when he does play.
Much when he does play.
I understand, but I'm saying when he doesn't, we don't have a replacement for Odegaard until we've got Eze. But having Odegaard off the pitch and Eze in the 10 and Martinelli is not as good as having Eze left and Odegaard in the 10. Eze, Saka, and Gyökeres is up there with the best front 3 in the league. Martinelli in our team is not up there with the best front 3 in the league. So you play the best front 3 in the league.
I believe having Eze at the 10 and the left winger would be better.
Say that again. Sorry, I didn't hear what you said.
I
No,
actually
on that-
believe that. Sorry, go on, Dave.
Go on, Aaron. I'm just saying on that basis, then, as that's the best front forward line in the Premiership. There's no
It's up there.
absolutely no
Can I
excuse.
bring some visuals quickly?
Is it
up there.
just quickly, Agal? 1 sec, just quick. Let me finish up.
Yeah, go
Whilst
on.
I agree that is a good team, D, I'm not disagreeing with that. I believe that an upgrade on that team that you just said would be putting Eze in a 10 and getting a left winger. That would upgrade it.
But you keep saying
All
that.
right. Dan, are you showing the screen? Guys, please, can I get 2 seconds? Number one, this is how Eze was playing at Crystal Palace, right? If you want to say this is a traditional 10, it's not. He's playing as a left 10. They basically have 2 10s behind the striker. And yes, they're playing a back 3, they're playing a mid-block, midfield, and whatever else. Eze pretty much occupies all this space. Now, if I change it to Arsenal and I put Madueke on this side because Saka's injured, replace him with Eze, guess what happens now? Eze, in this situation, would still occupy all of this space. He's not just because he's playing on the left wing doesn't mean he's going to just be stuck here.
Where's the left wing back gone then? Because with Crystal Palace, there was a left wing back.
One second. Don't distract me and start arguing about something different. Just hear me out, right? Just because Eze is no longer playing in a system where it's 2 10s behind the striker, he can still occupy this space. You can have Zubamendi and Rice playing further back. You can have Odegaard, you can still have Odegaard drifting into this space, and then you can have Calafiori bombing on, and you will still have a solid setup. When in the attacking phase, he will still be playing in the same pocket of space that he was playing at in Palace. It's just now, instead of being a default left 10, he's now a left winger. And when you take everything and you put it back the way it should have been, guess what? You're all of a sudden going to realize that it doesn't matter what your default position is. When you're playing, you're going to occupy the space that suits you to your best of your abilities, regardless.
So you just admitted he didn't play a left wing at Crystal Palace. He played a left 10. So you've admitted that he didn't even play a left wing.
Let me make a point, right? I'm gonna do something I don't normally do. I'm gonna disagree with everybody so far, and the reason I'm gonna disagree with everybody so far is because I ain't seen Eze playing an Arsenal shirt yet. I don't know if he's going to be good on the wing. I don't know if he's going to be good in the left 8. I don't know if he's going to be good in the attacking 10. I ain't got a clue. For me, I think he's more central. However, I have seen him do things on the left for England and Palace as well. So I ain't got a clue what he's going to do so far, if I'm honest with you. If Odegaard is out, I would rather see Eze in the middle. If he's not and he has to play on the left, then obviously Ethan will come into the middle. But I wanted to kind of sort of getting opinions from people, because I think what we have proven is we have got a little bit of squad depth there. I know some people in the chat were going, it looks terrible. It looks awful still. We don't have the best squad. Look at the state of it. I didn't actually think that looked a mess, if I'm honest. I mean, we've got Odegaard and Havertz and Saka that are out. So, we believe Odegaard could be back, but we don't know. So I need to see Eze play in the left or the 10 and make my decision, because I hadn't seen him play for Arsenal yet. So that's what I wanted to say, really. Sorry,
you know what it is, Dan, though, Dan? It's for his first time, as opposed to last season. If Odegaard does fall off the cliff and he's still at a full, the manager's still going to have to make that decision. Let's not forget, you're talking about the wingers and playing right now. Let's not forget who he bought from Chelsea. Saka's locked in as a right winger. Madueke in that side, he's going to try and find a place for him in that team, especially if we don't get Rodrigo. I still see a situation where he's going to keep on trying Madueke down the left-hand side. And if he keeps on doing that, then there's going to be a conundrum. There's still, whether we like it or not, Odegaard has got up his game. Because right now, we seem to, certain people on this panel and certain people, in the football club, have got Odegaard nailed on as his number 10, no matter what, good, bad, or the ugly. He has to up his game. Because if he doesn't up his game, we're going to revisit this. And we're not going to be talking about Eze as a left winger. We're going to revisit him as a number 10. This is a big season for a lot of players. If we want to win something, Odegaard's one of these players that needs to turn up this season. Because we now got another option where we like, look, we want to put Eze in the team and keep Odegaard's creativity. But we're talking about Odegaard 23-24. 24-25 season, he virtually ran out of credit in the bank. What I think where we're going now, I said, all right, an injury-free Odegaard, let's see what we can do, because let's not forget he was in a team of the season in 23, 24 and 22, 23. Let's hope he does get that form back, but he doesn't. Mikel's got to put his nuts on the table, seriously.
See, I'm excited about Eze left. I'm a bit confused. I don't know why everyone's not. I'm so excited.
He's not a left wing. He's not a left wing. He's not a left wing. He doesn't play his best football there. He can operate. That's his start.
We're excited to see his
best football.
He played his best football there this season. He played on the left twice, and he was man the match
better
twice.
than Martinelli, though. That's literally it. If
It's
we had
not- it's
good
not- that's
wingers
not what
there,
it-
you
that's
wouldn't
not-
even consider playing him on the left. Just because
No, I would.
the two wingers
I would.
are trash. That's
I would.
literally it.
I would.
And I
And let me
totally
tell you
get it. He probably is better than them. But that doesn't mean to say that that's the answer
And
for that
what's
position.
what's gonna happen
he's
is
better
he's gonna
than the
prove
current
you wrong.
player.
He's going to
I
prove
hope
you
so.
wrong.
Of course I
Yeah,
hope
he's
so.
gonna prove
But
you
what I do hope is that he plays in number 10 and we get a left
No,
winger.
he's going to
That's
prove
what
you
I
wrong
do
on the
hope.
left wing. He's going to prove you wrong because when he
I hope
starts playing
so.
left wing, he's going to be one of the best left wingers in the league, and he's going to show you that he actually can play left wing and be one of the best in the league. He's going to show you.
You know
I hope
what?
you're
I hope
right
you're
every
right,
single
man.
Premier
I
League
hope
game.
you're right.
D. I hope
Yeah.
you're right.
Fact.
I
Let's do
think
these
I am.
supers. Let's do these supers, and I've got one
One
more
more
go.
thing. One more thing. By the way, if
thought you
Odegaard
might
is
have
out
said
the
that. Go.
team,
Go on, bro.
if Odegaard is out the team, Ethan's more likely to play in that position.
And that's on the manager. That's on Mikel Arteta. That's his
Based on
decision.
him
what
not
games, though.
playing him yesterday.
That
Last
depends
season.
on what games, because that really depends on what games, because whether he plays Ethan if Odegaard's out, it just depends what games we're in, because he would still try and get Marino in the team and stuff like that. It really depends.
When has Marino ever come in for Odegaard?
You know,
Probably every time he was subbed off last season. At the end of last season, he didn't bring on Ethan. I don't think maybe even once for him.
Ethan
He kept
played
on bringing
37
defenders
games
and
last season.
midfielders.
Ethan played 37 games last season.
Let me do these supers. Zach says, big up Aaron on this point just now. Igal, why are you on all fours for Arteta? He really doesn't like you, does he, Igal, Zach? M5 resident said, Igal isn't chatting this time around. Eze plays as a left 10 and usually operates from the left where he creates. He mainly operates there. People need to watch with their eyes and drop agendas. We'll see, man. We'll see. I'm just excited to see Eze, whatever happens. Where's Lee Gunner when you need him? Lee is having dinner tonight, so apologies. He's not here, people. But hopefully he'll be back next time. Beans on toast. Igal is the realest Arsenal fan on the planet. There we go. Big up. You got a fan there, Igal. David says, as a Liverpool fan, I would worry more about Eze playing in the 10 than Odegaard. Yeah, a lot of people are rating this as a sign-in for Arsenal, I've got to be honest. Owen says, I'm a Liverpool fan here. If you want to win, go for pace. We can't defend. Play Madueke, Martinelli, and Eze in the 10. We overcommit, and then we get killed on the counter. Yeah, last night and the game against Bournemouth, Liverpool definitely defensively can be got at. So I think that I'm expecting Arsenal to score at Anfield, that's for sure. Real Youth says, what are we doing here? Palmer had his best season at Chelsea playing as a winger, and he doesn't have half the wing attributes as Eze. Palace formation dictates where Eze plays, hence attacking midfield. Matty, big up to you, bro. He says, by this logic, let's run Saka back to wing back and see if that gets the best out of him. Cheers or wink. Legend, bro. I hope you're well, Matty. Big up to you, man. Make sure you're following Matty. Why does it matter where he stands? We want fluidity. Eze will drift inside regardless. I actually agree with that. I actually do agree with that. Real Youth says Eze's higher dribbling tendency, highest in the league, is perfect as a winger, not as a natural 10. He needs space to run into and express himself. All we need is someone to overlap. And I say it again, I need to see Eze in an Arsenal shirt before I can tell what he is at Arsenal. I've got to be honest. M5 resident comes back in again. Big up to you, bro. Says, do these men actually watch ball? Part of Mateta's success was down to Eze supplying from the left with Wharton central. Eze is a left winger /10. Can we stop the agendas?
Thank you.
A lot of people agreeing with Igal here. Guna SE says, what is all that about? Lawrence says, Igal preaching his usual BS. Lawrence is not a foul of Igal. Let's just be honest. Knowledge football non-existent. Junior Jam, balance is massively affected. Putting Timber at left back defensively solid. I agree. Right footer offers nothing going forward on that side. Take the game to them. Calafiori has offered a lot of fluidity to that. I actually disagree playing Calafiori there because of his positioning. That is the only reason. One-on-one defending, Timber's class, man. I'm sorry. Like, he's absolutely class for me. So I need him against Salah, man. I really do. Shane says a pivot with Rice and then Eze and Erdegaard attacking mid. Yeah, so a lot of people have said this actually. Rice in a 6, Eze in the 8, and Erdegaard in the 10. I actually would flip them round. I'd have Erdegaard in the 8 and Eze in the 10. But either way, that is another option.
So you don't want to control the game at all. You just want to run at people.
I think that might be if we're like 2 or 3-0 up against Brentford at home. We might try that.
We can do that with Zubimendi on the pitch. Just Eze tucks in and the left back goes higher up the pitch.
Yeah, there we go. And the last one is Tevin. Silva can play left wing, right wing, centre mid, or centre attacking midfield, and he's won everything. So who cares where Eze plays? He's a wicked player. Look, I've got to be honest. I like what the Eze signing will do, and let's see what it's all about. My last question before we come to a close, lads, is to discuss this. I know it's early. There's only a couple of games, but we might all have an opinion on this. Is the title going to be won by 10 points or more this season?
I'm not going to lie to you. Let me go first. It doesn't matter as long as we win. Who cares?
True. I agree with him.
Well, listen, I agree with that, but that question wasn't, is Arsenal going to win the league? The question was, is it going to be 10 points? My point is not Arsenal here. My point is, how close is this title going to be? Is it going to be someone runs away with it, or is there going to be 2 in it, 3 in it, 4 in it, 5 in it?
I think it'd be close. I
was told it doesn't matter if we finish 1 point behind or 6 points behind. It doesn't matter. So why do we care the other way around, Dan?
No, he's not saying about us. He's saying it in general.
Missed the question, bro. You've misunderstood the question, bro.
You've
read that. No, you've read the question. You've read the question as, is Liverpool going to win the league by 10 points? That's what.
No. I read it as, is Arsenal going to win the league by 10 points? But I'm just basically saying.
He basically said. The question is basically, is it going to be a close title race, or is it going to be a? That's basically what the question is. But I think it's going to be a close.
It doesn't matter.
Teams like Tottenham, teams like Man United, these teams have got much better. They're going to take points off other teams. I think it's going to be way closer. I don't think it'll be.
I'm sorry to ruin it, but points don't matter. At the end of the day,
do you understand the question, again?
If it's a title race until April, and then a team gets away with 10 points late in April, it was still a close title race up until April.
Okay, let me ask the question to you differently. Whoever wins the league. No, I get what you're saying, but you don't understand what I'm saying.
3 of your last 3 games. The other team could be demoralized, and then it's a 10-point difference. But all of a sudden, 1 point can turn into 10 points after 3 games. It's not necessarily.
So there's still an answer. There's still an answer to it, though, isn't there? The question was, is it 10 points or more? There's still a right answer, isn't it? You know what I mean?
I think the title race doesn't give it. I don't care how many points it is, as long as we win.
Basically, Dan, sod your question. I'm just going to answer it how I want it. Yeah, basically.
I've given his answer anyway. What about everyone else?
No, but you know something? If it was the other way around,
I think it's going to be a close title race.
If it was the other way around, and I told you Arsenal only lost the league by 10 points last season, you're going to say, who gives a shit? Liverpool ran away with it.
Well, no, but I'll answer the question in the words of our manager. There's 8 teams that can win the going to win the Premiership. All right. So on that basis, what Arteta said, it's going to be a very close title race.
I'll answer next, but you boys might need to explain the question to me.
He's always trolling.
You know what it is, right? We've been here before. We've been here before where we think it's going to be a close title race, and sometimes it doesn't. It depends who gets out of traps. Hopefully, it's going to be us. But personally, I don't think it's going to. I think it depends on the Champions League. It depends on how many cup competitions either the team's going to be in it. But I do think the team's going to run away with it again. I really do. I think, and I hope it's us. I don't see it being on paper. It should be close, but I'm not sure. I think there's going to be a team. The team that's immaculate is going to win it because I see teams dropping points, but only one team being immaculate. And I don't know who. It could be either Man City, us, or Liverpool. But whoever's immaculate will piss this league.
Hey, that's on paper, we have the best team. You guys all agree, right?
On paper.
As in first 11 or?
I wouldn't say 11.
As in squad.
Squad, I would say, yeah. I don't think we've got the best 11. I don't think our 11's better than Liverpool's, and like man for man. I think it's very close, and Man City likewise. But I still have it. I've not changed my tune 2 games in. I still have Liverpool to win it, Arsenal second, City third, and Chelsea fourth. That's what I have because we're good at coming second, and I do believe that will be the top 4. Some people have Arsenal 5th or 6th or 10th.
No, that's madness. That's
guys, we have a major advantage. What is it? 5 days left in the window, and we're pretty much done an amazing window. So comparing my window right now to City's and Liverpool, who still have to go get a right back, still have to go get a striker, still have to go get a defender. I'm very happy with Andre Berta and these guys have done, and I think that will give us an advantage in the coming weeks.
I think they've had a solid window for sure. Definitely better. Definitely better than windows gone by, especially that disaster last summer. That was an absolute shower of so-and-so.
And January.
So I mean, this is definitely a good effort. Definitely a good effort. Is there still bits to do? Do I question some of them? Yeah, Norgard ain't for me. I can understand why they've got him. He's not for me. Madueke. Do you know what frustrates me about the Madueke thing is that if a left winger becomes available like a Rodrigo, or there was chance or ability for Lookman, but we can't afford it because we've got Madueke.
No, but you know what?
It would frustrate me though, purely because we've prioritized a backup right winger over a starting left winger.
Isn't that useful now that Saka's injured?
Bottom.
It makes sense now.
Isn't it useful now that Saka's injured and we've already gotten Eze and Gyökeres also?
But we still ain't got the left winger though. That's the whole. My point.
No. You in your mind don't have one, but Arsenal Football Club signed Eze.
Exactly.
Well, yeah, number 10 that you're going to play at left wing. Yeah, we're not going to play. We're not going to do this.
Aaron, we'll be back here. We'll be back here in 2 months' time. We'll be back here in 2 months' time when Eze's killing it at the left wing, and you're going to be like, you know what? I hold my hands up. I was wrong.
Do I think he'll do better than Martinelli? Yeah, but by default, we've got two trash wingers. Of course, he's going to look better than them. Come on.
All right.
They're crap.
Anyways, D, you know what I realized? He's only going to hold his hands up if we win the league. He doesn't care about anything else.
Yeah, which is right, which is fair to them because that's what we want to do at the end of the day. But the point is, Arteta has to shut all this. He's the only person that can shut this noise down. You know what I'm saying?
Arteta's a genius. You guys see the tunnel?
He used to do it though, didn't he?
Yeah, but that's the point I'm making. Really and truly, if we win the league, no one's going to be making it.
Hey guys, how did the tunnel look? How did the tunnel look without the cover?
I see your texting, guys. The tunnel vision.
Oh,
yeah, man.
Very intimidating.
Nice without the cover. Let's be honest.
Look, Igal. The reason why the roof came off is because we got some excitement. We saw Eze walking the pitch, and that's why the roof came off, because we were thinking we were pinching ourselves. And when you see him coming out with his dreads in his jeans, walking around like Liam Gallagher, that Liam Gallagher walk that he has, those little hips, shoulders out. Looking up and thinking, I've made it. That's why the tunnel came. That's why the roof came off, and that kind of put us in good stead. We're in the feel-good factor. How can you not play well?
Arteta motivational masterclass.
There you go. Guy coming on the pitch. That's that. You know what I mean? Who knows? Maybe.
Give the manager credit. It's a motivational masterclass.
Because all the other masterclasses have worked so well, bearing no trophies in 5 years. Do you know what I mean? So,
Aaron,
what's he motivated them to? Second place. It's not the Olympics, Agal. You don't get a medal.
Hey, last time I checked, it's August masterclass. Last time I checked, it's August
motivation. He's motivated his team to fail in 19 consecutive competitions he's entered in since he's
last time I checked, it's August 22nd. We're currently top of the Premier League, and it's a new season. So let's be confident.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, 19 consecutive competitions. His masterclass in motivation has caused failure. 19.
Yeah, the only time I agree with you on this. The only time I agreed with Miguel on this panel.
I'm not gonna lie. I'm sick and tired of this issue.
Lawrence, again, let me finish. The only time I agreed to you today is that this is the truest thing you just said. The title race started from 4:30 at Old Trafford. It's not a case of like fill ourselves in. That's when we start. That's when we're good to go, and that's when we mean business, because that's the mentality of Man City, and that's the mentality of Liverpool. It started on 4:30. No filling yourselves in. We've got to basically. Everyone's going to have to. What's that silly word you lot use? Cook. What's that? Bacon, eggs, that sort of silly words. Everyone has to be at it. I'd rather use the words I understand, at it. So Odegaard's got to be at it. Saka's got to be at it when he comes back from injury, because at the end of the day, we've got to be immaculate if we want to win the league. Yeah. Because the team the team that wins the league, is immaculate, there's going to be no last day round. They'll win it by probably the same time Liverpool won it, end of April. That's what we got to aim for. Aim for that.
100%.
Forget the Champions League. The Champions League is a secondary competition. I want this because I want proof that we're the best. I couldn't give a damn about the Champions League. The league is where you prove you're the best, because everyone's saying we've got the best squad in the league. Well, let's prove it by winning the Premiership. Real test.
You know something? I do. I want to win both. By the way, that idiot Lawrence, shut your mouth.
Anyway, I'm not reading out super chats of people slamming my guests, man. I'm not doing that. Big up to Lawrence and all that, but I know you know me a while. I'm not having that, man. I'm not doing that, man.
Just quickly, Rob. Obviously, we're talking about winning the league, and obviously we've got aspirations to do it. Do you know what we haven't done under this manager? And I hope that he can change it on Sunday, and that's winning in the Premier League away to a title rival. One of the big teams at the Etihad and Anfield, he hasn't done it. And I'll tell you what, that North would make a big bit of difference going to Liverpool and winning there.
Oh, you
pick up 3 points.
You can only do that if Eze's on the left, Al.
I'm not. No levels.
In all seriousness,
but we need to do that. We need to win over the line.
Yeah, I agree, Aaron. But in all seriousness, look, I don't care what team he picks, as long as it performs and as long as we come away from Anfield with a result. I don't care if Donald Duck's on the left, as long as we come away with anything from Anfield.
Well, let's close with the predictions, because we're not going to be next week. We're going to know if we've won, lost, or draw. So I'll start with you, DJB. Give me your prediction for Anfield, bro, score wise.
I'm gonna go 1-1, Dan. I don't think Liverpool. I think we'll score, but obviously I think Liverpool will, and I just think we're going to have enough to just come away there with a point. I'd love to say we're going to win it, but if I was to give you a realistic prediction, 1-1. I think we'll come away with something.
I've been the same as you for quite some time on this game, and I do think that potentially it'll be 1-1. But there might be more goals than that in it if the way that you see defensively for Liverpool. But let's hope that we can get 3 points. But I'll go 1-1 with DJ. Aaron.
Yeah, because of the right. I think their right winger ain't. Their right back ain't. Playing, is he? What's his name? They've just
Connor Bradley and Frimpong.
Yeah, I think they've got issues there. Plus,
Bradley's back.
Oh, is he back at least? But yeah. Canate ain't looked himself just yet. So I'm looking at Liverpool, and they are a little bit. Basically, I don't know whether I'm going to go for a 1-1 or a 2-2. Do you know what I mean? I'm thinking of that defense, and I'm like, do you know what? Maybe they could be got at twice. I'm going to go for a 2-2. Sod it. Otherwise, I'll be here rambling all night.
Kenny.
I'm going for a draw. I think both teams be cautious, because I think Slot's in that territory that if he plays expansively, we'll kill them. He'd be a fool to play like that. He's conceded 4 goals already this season. We've conceded none. He'd be an absolute fool to play the way we want him to play. So that's why, on that basis, I can only see a draw.
Okay, D.
Yeah, I was gonna go 2-2 only because it's Anfield. I think if any team's gonna win, it will be us though, because I just feel like they're fullbacks. I think we're gonna have a good time with the fullbacks. I do think as well I think this year this is the most confident I've been in us winning the league with our squad. So I think we've got the best chance of winning the league. But I think a draw 2-2. I think I will take a point at Anfield. I wanted to ask you lot, would you not take a point at Anfield now?
Considering we got 6 points in the previous, yes. If you were to look at that and go 7 points from Man United away, Leeds at home, Liverpool away, I think everyone would have took that
all day long.
Yeah.
Everyone would I'd be more than happy with a point. 100%.
Yeah, okay. So we're on the same page. We're on the same page.
Yeah.
What are you saying, Miguel?
I'm gonna keep my powder dry till tomorrow. Honestly, okay. I don't know. I don't want to give a prediction yet. I'm just gonna wait for more information to pop in.
Okay, that's fair, man.
What information?
He wants more heat maps for Eze.
I want to see
it's funny. How do you not find him funny, bro?
Why don't you just say what you want to say? Say what you want to say. You think we're going to win?
More information, you know.
Miguel, put your nuts.
I want to give them more informed decisions.
Wait, what info are you talking about? What info are you talking about?
Like what? You think we're going to win? This stuff.
I want to see I want to see if something happens this week. Let's see.
Miguel, you think we're going to win 2-0? Just say it. There's nothing wrong with it.
Can I just go back?
I'll see this. I don't think we're going to keep a clean sheet, But I also don't think Liverpool will have a good time. Will have an easy time against
What
us.
does that mean? What is the score?
3-1 then, Gal. That's what you're going for.
What do you think the score will be, though?
3-1 Arsenal.
Oh,
I don't have an exact score.
Gal's got.
Gal,
Look at the grin. He's gone 4-1, isn't he? That's what that is. Look at the grin on him. Look at it.
He's so
Gal,
scared of
hilarious.
getting ridiculed.
No.
If he doesn't go his way.
There's something called cliffhangers. Keep people wanting more.
No,
Look at Gal.
this
Come on.
guy that's sitting on the fence because he knows that if we get battered, he's going to get it from social media.
No. I'm still gonna give a prediction on my channel eventually. It's just not today.
Why can't you give it on this channel?
No, because I don't have all my information yet. Once I have all
It's
my
fine.
information,
Let him leave us in suspense, people.
What's
Let him leave
the
us in
list of
suspense.
info you need in order to give yourself a calculated prediction?
Or Ascot.
It's whether Odegaard's fit or not. That's what he's waiting for.
What's
Never
on the
change,
list?
never change, bro. Never change.
What's
bro.
There's
Free
still-
Gal information in order to give yourself a score
Hey,
prediction.
once I
What's
have a
the
more
top three of the
informed.
list?
1 second. You guys always say give informed decisions. Don't just talk shit, right? So I'm trying to give an informed decision, because if I come out here and say something crazy, people are gonna be like, "Hey, next thing you know, Odegaard and this guy's out. This player's here." Imagine they go and sign Gahey and Isak, and they're ready to go versus us. A lot of things can change. Let me wait.
Yeah, but if
You
they
can
sign
wait.
these players, they may not be
You won't see him getting
mentioning
Isak over the
they may
line
not be
before
mentioning
the
time to play, though.
Yeah, I don't
You
know.
need a hand getting down from that
Hey,
bench or sat on.
no,
Let me know.
you guys all predicted draws. Maybe I predicted a draw. Maybe I predicted a win. Who knows?
Yeah,
All I
no.
know is I'm not predicting a loss.
If we win, you're gonna say, "I told you so. I told you so." You're saying it to let.
No.
saying
One
it-
thing I will tell you:
Yes,
we
lost.
have not lost in 22 games versus the Big Six. It's not going to end on the weekend.
But
And-
do you know
and
what?
what-
Do you know what, Gal? And
what
I'll
we
end it
got
on
for that?
this.
Who's
What
won
Kenny
trophies?
said.
Not us.
What Kenny said, yeah, and I'll be able to give you this as a statistic, Gal. I know you love them. Manchester City, since we've beat them or since they've beat us, they've won 2 Premier League titles, 1 FA Cup, 1 Champions League, 1 FIFA Club World Cup, and 1 Super Cup. Since we last lost against Manchester United, they've won an FA Cup and a League Cup. Tottenham, Europa League, Liverpool, a Premier League title and a League Cup, and Chelsea, Europa Conference League and a Club World Cup. So essentially, whilst it is a pretty little stat that makes you sleep a little bit better at night, who cares? Because everyone else has been successful, and mostly numerous times.
Hey,
Can't
at
really
least
argue with that,
did-
man.
We didn't contribute to that success, because when we played them, we did our job.
We still haven't won a trophy in that time.
Can't
period.
argue
So
with trophies,
essentially,
though.
who
Can't
cares?
argue with
We also
trophies.
lost
because-
at home against West Ham, and
It's a pretty stat.
held
It's
it
a pretty
Fulham
stat,
and
but not one
players,
that makes a
things like
difference
this. So,
because
The
you know,
game's about glory.
we'll
The
win.
game's about glory, as Danny Blanchard says. Albeit
It's
he
gotta
played
win.
for the wrong side, but he's right. It's about glory.
We have to do our job this season and win. He's got to do a job and get us across the line, man. But listen, we're going to leave it there. Big up to everybody. We're going to send you over to Northside. North is live, so make sure you go show him some love as well. We've got one last super chat that's come in here that I'm going to read out, which says, the Big Six nonsense, it means nada. Well, it doesn't, because we need a trophy. So let's make sure we get the trophy across the line. Make sure you're following DJB, people. Make sure you're following Aaron Talks Football. Make sure you're following Kenny Ken, Famzone TV, and Igal Talks Football. Go and show Northside some love, and we will see you next time. We're out of here, people. Laters.
cheers, guys.